Right, this hello, welcome, I'm Dr. Chaos, and today, I played 100% of Batman Arkham Asylum. We did do it on hard difficulty because there is an achievement for beating on hard. We start the way most Batman things do, taking the Joker to Arkham.
Hitchhikers may
Um,
escape.
Yep, already Batman is concerned because
Stand back, fool! I
his
got a
the
bomb.
Joker's actions were very
Right,
suspicious, and he kind of seemed like he was willingly got captured. Very quickly, Batman's fears are proven correct, as while leading, while wheeling the Joker into the asylum to put him away, he triggers his escape. We then spend the like basically have our first fight. Just a couple of basic stuff because it's obviously hard difficulty. There's no counter button indicator, and well, in the end, throughout this entire campaign, I didn't do too well. After a few more rounds, we did go into the event and we found our first Riddler trophy. The Riddler stuff's going to be something we deal with the entire campaign. Um, Basically, somehow this guy left stuff everywhere and we need to find his stuff. Following on from that, we continued chasing after the Joker into intensive treatment with a little bit of a side tangent to go after Victor Zaz. After dealing with Victor, Harley did come say hi. Um, yeah. And she revealed that she did capture the Warden, Quincy Sharp. Continuing the chase for Joker, we go into a room filled with Joker gas, and we basically have to go rescue a couple of officers as well as one of the goons to get an achievement. We do then catch up with the Joker. He then sticks on us one of his goons. But, well, it immediately has a heart attack and dies. And as such, the Joker runs away. Runs away, ensuring, well, and basically saying, hey, come find me, I'm gonna sick some of the other villains on you. However, we find that Gordon's been kidnapped, so following his tobacco trail, we make our way to the medical building, where we find Harley and, well, Gordon's around the corner. We then bust in the roof to basically come in the back entrance. We did have to defend the Batmobile from a few other guys, but honestly, they're just random regular dudes, so it really didn't cause any trouble. I mean, the thing is, the entire time, basically, we would go out, do Riddler, collect Riddler trophies, do the different collectibles, and solve some of the Riddler's questions, riddles. I'm not going to go over all of them. You guys can see that in the raw footage VODs that'll be coming up soon. Following on from that, we ran around the floor, the medical wing, to rescue a handful of doctors, as well as Cash. I want to say sergeant, but each held within a different wing of the medical floor. This was swiftly followed up by our first knife goon. These guys weren't too bad for the most part. You just had to cape stun them before you could hit him, but otherwise they would defend themselves using the knives that they held. And here's the thing, Zaz technically counts as a knife goon. He is practically identical to them. There's honestly no difference except the outfit, which even then isn't too much. Following on from that, we went down into the basement, where, well, we encountered Scarecrow, Dr. Crane. Obviously his entire thing is all about fear gas. Continuing on down through, we meet the parents, again, and Batman hallucinates Gordon dying, though it doesn't turn out. The thing is, Scarecrow's sections were easy. They basically amount to crawling around a kind of void with stuff based on the environment that the gas affected you in, where you have to sneak up to a bat signal and just aim it at Scarecrow. Honestly, we see him a couple of times. Heading back out, we go across, we encounter Harley. Basically, this is one of the more stealth parts. Basically, we have to sneak through this area without being caught, otherwise Harley will shoot Gordon. Which we do. We jump in, attack Harley. We accidentally let her get away, though, as we get a little bit distracted by Bane, who was being kept down in the basement because, well, they wanted to experiment on Venom, the drug which makes Bane. So yeah, ultimately get thrown into the boiler room. This is the only time we can access this room, so good there's no Riddler junk in here. And we have to fight a now Venom souped up Bane. It does take us a few attempts, but we do ultimately come out on top. And even then, we have to hit Bane with our car. So yeah, that's this Bat car gone. Probably why he gets a tank at night now I think about it. Following on from this, we make a quick stop at the Batcave, because he created a backup Batcave on Arkham Island, and got the Bat Claw, our next gadget, used to basically remove things from high up in the air, but only lighter things, like grates. To leave, we do have to escape through the sewers. We say hi to Killer Croc again. We will be seeing him later. And, well, we have to manually climb out of here because we really can't use the grappling hook to ascend these crumbling ruins. Our next place of visitation is Arkham Manor, as that is where all the records are kept, and we need to find Penny Young's research. We rescue Cash again, as well as a couple of other guards, and some other doctors in the other end of the manor, by having to clear out destroy that glass floor using the chandelier. Eventually, after some honestly getting lost, we did make it to Dr. Young's office to find that she has already grabbed her notes and hidden them in the room that the in one of the rooms where we rescued the Doctor. We did then destroy the notes so that to basically limit Titan production. But then it was time for another Scarecrow thing. Honestly, I didn't like the Scarecrow sections. Like, I didn't have anything truly. I was like, oh, this is not such a bad thing. But I didn't enjoy them. It was ultimately just kind of walk around. This one, though, Bruce is hallucinating his dead parents again, this time in the alleyway. But ultimately we do get up there and take him out, and we find that we ended up in the clock tower. Don't know how we got up here, but honestly, it I did enjoy getting out of this. Because well, knock down the bell. Which does also open the path to the next location. So honestly, it would have been a lot more trouble if we weren't being gassed by Scarecrow. Ultimately, we deal with Victor Zsasz again and rescue Dr. Young. But as it turns out, not for long. So as Dr. Young is attempting to get the key, like the biological key for the entire facility, which is in Quincy Sharp's office, turns out it is Victor explode. And well, there's Harley again. And Quincy. So we then need to chase after Harley to try to get the warden back. And we chase her all the way to the penitentiary cell block. There we say hi to Poison Ivy. We say hi to Clayface playing dress up. And we go say hi to Quincy Sharp. Oh yeah. And Harley Quinn breaks out Poison Ivy from her cell. Honestly though, she just goes hides in the garden. Like, all the other villains are like, trying to go after Batman, like, destroying stuff, whatever. While Poison Ivy just goes over to hide in the garden. But we do get the Warden's passkey, which does allow us to start hacking. So, around the facility, there's a bunch of security nodes, made by Wayne Tech, of course, which we can then use our new cryptographic sequencer to basically get through. Sometimes there's riddle stuff hiding behind them, other times, we have to go there for actual doors. Anyway, chasing back out, we encounter Harley once more. So we chase her up there, but it's honestly just to fight a bunch of escaped inmates while Harley swings around on a lamp above us. Chasing after her once more. We have to rescue a couple of guards she's strung up. Basically, there's above some electrocution, and then also get out of the room before a few Joker gas bombs go off. Before we catch up to Harley once again in the extreme incarceration room. The floor, basically one section electrocutes at a time, and we have to take out a couple of waves of goons before we can deal with Harley. This room, in main game, it's fine. In challenge mode, I'll bring that up later. But now it's cutscene time. As Harley's failed to beat the bat again, Joker's just like, yeah, no more party for you. And then we literally just beat Harley in a cutscene very easily before chucking her in the cell, so we honestly don't have to deal with her for the rest of the game. Following on from that, we then head back to the Botanical Gardens, where the Titan lab is meant to be. And we fight our way through and find the Titan lab, where, just in time for Joker to be looting it of all the Titan that is within. Unfortunately, the Titan serum has been perfected, which means they are big, beefy, angry, and won't have a heart attack in 5 minutes. I die a lot to this, but quite literally because I am decided to go for the defeat a Titan henchman without using the Batarang achievement. So this brought out this section a lot longer than it otherwise would have. But literally 2.5 hours later, might have only been 2, we do finally beat the 2 henchmen, and our reward is the line launcher. Basically, Batman's, wherever you want to put it, zipline maker. Useful for getting across gaps that you otherwise aren't able to. Following on from that, we go say hi to Poison Ivy again, because, well, she knows where to get the antidote for the Titan, which, it turns out, is in Killer Croc's cell. Unfortunately, the Joker then did drug Poison Ivy with Titan, so her plants took over the entire island, and they filled the mansion with poison gas. But finally we return to Cash to find out where Killer Croc's cell is, and well, turns out it is below intensive treatment, even deeper than the elevator shaft previously went. Unfortunately, they have taken to rigging the gargoyles to explode, but actually, now I think about it, this may be one of, if not the only time they actually do it in the actual story. It becomes more of a problem in the challenge modes. But this does lead us into our third and final Scarecrow section, which was basically just a reverse of the opening, with the inmates and supervillains taking the place of Batman and the security. Ultimately, though, after a little bit of a boss fight against Scarecrow in the fear-induced world, Batman basically just goes, yeah, actually, no, I just say no, I'm gonna ignore the fear toxin. Like, honestly, he just goes, yeah, immunity to it. So, Scarecrow, now utterly terrified, is running away from Batman. He plans on dropping the fear toxin into the water to, you know, basically make it so anyone who drinks water suffers it. And also to make it so the entire water is, like the caves, are filled with fear toxin. However, Killer Croc decides he doesn't like that plan, and takes Scarecrow and jumps into the water with him. Scarecrow does survive, but we do not see him again this game. So we make it to Killer Croc's lair. Occasionally, we have to move slowly, but occasionally he jumps up and runs away after us. This was before I realized you could just batarang it, but I very quickly figured it out, and anytime you do, he just falls into the water. We're here to find these mold spores. We need to grab a couple of these, but once we get them all, Killer Croc starts chasing us all the way back out of his lair / cell. But luckily, we prepped a explosive way out and just kind of dumped him deeper into the facility, and honestly just kind of forgot about him. We make it back to the Batcave. We make a cure for the Titan transformation. Get a better bat claw, which can even destroy concrete walls. And, well, we basically lose this Batcave to Poison Ivy's plants. Joker started pumping Titan-infected water into the system. Basically, when the system fills up, it's meant to basically flush out into Gotham, and normally that would be fine because, you know, it's just regular old water. But because it's Titan infected, it would actually cause a lot of harm. So we continue our way up. We turn off the pump control rooms to stop the stuff pumping, and then we have to fight another Titan infused henchman and a bunch of escapees. We, after doing a bunch more side questing and collecting more Riddler stuff, we make it back to the Botanical Gardens to cure the Titan-infected plants there. But at this point in time, we then have to fight Poison Ivy, who at this point has been taken control of, like, has been infected by the Titan formula. This only took us, I think this only took me like 2 times, and it was even easier because there was a checkpoint at the kind of halfway point. But yeah, ultimately, we then stopped Poison Ivy and escaped the Botanical Gardens because, well, it was kind of falling apart at this point. Following on from that, we had 2 things left, so we got rid of all of Ivy's plants and had all the gear, so it is basically, hey, go hunt down the last of the Riddler stuff and the Spirit of Arkham stuff. So, by this point, Riddler was getting more and more pissed off. And, well, I'll let you listen to the call he makes once you find the last item.
What? You did it? You must have cheated. There is no way you could have beaten me. Well, you asked for it, Batman. My final challenge for the whole of Gotham is just seconds away. What? Silence. The police. You cheated, Batman. You couldn't have outsmarted me. Police, open up! No. I said open the door, now! No! Down on the ground! Down on the ground! Tell me, how did you work out where I was? Do you hear me? I, Edward Nigma,
But yeah, following on from that, we basically were heading back to where we left Quincy Sharp because we found out, like, it was pretty obvious towards the end that the Spirit of Arkham, at least towards the end, became Quincy Sharp. So we just went here to go find the final of his messages. Now, one of the final optional achievements was this party pooper. Basically, beat up all the um, escapees who are celebrating your arrival to the party. This wasn't too bad. Well, I say it took me a few attempts, but basically, just kind of wanted to get them onto a bunch of explosives to knock them all down, and I could start ground pounding them to take out a few, and then it was easy enough to basically just punch the rest of them down. Yeah, not having the counter icons did mean I took more damage than I probably should have. But yeah, finally we went into the end game. We fought for Joker's entertainment, taking out a few more Titan enhanced goons as well as just regular guys, before Joker injected himself with Titan formula and took things to the roof. At this point, Batman did end up using the antidote on himself and fought a Titan enhanced Joker, which was basically just kind of avoid him, then he jumps up onto the roof, grandstands a bit, and you pull him down, beat him up a bit, and slowly weaken the floor. Until finally, the last time, falls through the floor and gets electrocuted on his very unsafe flooring that honestly, he made it himself, so yeah. And finally, with a explosive gel powered punch, that is the end of the main story. Everyone was sent back to their cells, but in a post-credit cutscene, we do see Bane grabbing the last of the Titan formula. Finally, a bunch of miscellaneous stuff, honestly. We had all the challenge mode stuff to do. So there's two types of challenge mode: combat and predator. Combat ones, you just need to fight, get a high score. While for predator, it's this sneaking around and you have to take out enemies in certain ways. Extreme combat, the extreme version of the combat challenges were basically just against more foes, while the extreme version of the predator challenges were just do it with. So you couldn't really use the gargoyles because they were all rigged to explode, and you had to do some slightly more complicated tasks as compared to the regular modes. Now, to get there's also a few other miscellaneous achievements. Like there's one for getting a high combo score, but that was end up being easy within the greenhouse one. So all of these maps we encountered earlier. So we have intensive treatment. We then had one in the sewers. We then had one in the arena where we took down Harley, which honestly I fucking hated shock and awe. Like that one was very annoying. It just felt like the others were easy and manageable. That shock and awe extreme were just they. I don't know whether to say like over the top. They had more I guess less people plus a time limit, so they're just really annoying. And they generally had tougher, like there's a lot of knife guys and baton guys. But yeah, and then the final map was in the Titan arena. The Predator maps were the entrance to intensive treatment. That place we went in and out. It was where we first encountered the explosive gargoyles. There was the medical wing, where we like it was the big place in the medical wing. There was one in one of the pump rooms. One of the pump rooms was more of a predator challenge, and then the final one was the other one was the records room where we rescued Cash in the manor. But yeah, like this took almost as long as the actual campaign. I think I ended up putting like it was like 8 to 9 hours or something into attempting to get this done. But yeah, and then once we restart everything, we had one so we had a 100% save file. We then had to do one final thing to get all the Steam achievements, flawless, flawless, like perfection, like basically get a perfect combo using each and every one of Batman's moves. This only took like 20 minutes of actually attempting. But yeah, the instant I got that, I just went, yep, cool, I'm done. So yeah, 100% save file and 100% of achievements done. And yeah. Yeah, I was rushing towards the end, but it was honestly, hey, I was then playing a game with my friend after that. Anyway, at some point I will be, well, sometimes, let's face it, within a few days after this, I'll be putting out the raw footage so you can actually see me suffer. But yeah, until then, goodbye.